What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alyssa Morrison, or the Alyssa Morrison if you are new here. Before we jump into today's video, make sure that you are subscribed by clicking that red button down below and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. I will be putting timestamps down below if you don't want to watch all this information but just want to take certain parts of this, so let's just go ahead and jump in. Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm really nervous. I've put off filming this video for so long because I really want the delivery to come across how I anticipated. At the end of the day, if this video can help one person feel like they are not alone in their struggles or their insecurities, this will all be worth it. Today I am sharing with you guys my Accutane journey and what I've learned along the way. Now, not only am I sharing my nitty-gritty side effects, experience, all of that, but I'm also sharing the mental battle and struggle that I overcame with dealing with cystic acne for about half of my life. Hello, it is current day Alyssa editing this video, and I just wanted to come on here and share a little piece of information that I forgot to include in the original video. The medication that I am talking about in this video is called isotretinoin. The actual name brand of Accutane was taken off of the market some time ago. The actual medication that I was on was called Myorsan. There are still generic forms of the medication available on the market, but the actual name brand of Accutane was taken off the market. So I just wanted to let you guys know in case there was any confusion. I just wanted to clear that up. Go back to the video. Love you. Like I said before, make sure that you guys are subscribed down below, and let's just go ahead and jump right in. Go ahead and get a snack or some popcorn or a drink. This is going to be a pretty long but hopefully a very informative video. I first wanted to start off, I feel like I'm going to get emotional because this is something that is so near and dear to my heart. Oh my gosh, I really am. I just want to start off this video by saying I know what it feels like to be completely exhausted. I struggled with acne for about 8 or 9 years, and it severely impacted my self-esteem, my self-worth, the way that I held myself in relationships and friendships, and literally every aspect of my life. I know what it's like to meet someone and feel like they are just staring at your skin. I know what it's like to feel completely invalidated with issues with your skin, or whether it be really any insecurity that you're facing. I know what it's like to feel invalidated with people saying, you'll just grow out of it, it's only your skin, you can wear makeup, no big deal, when in reality it's something that you have to face every single day and look at yourself in the mirror, not feel good enough or pretty, or really just feel like you're the only one who is going through this. I know at the time that I was really struggling with severe cystic acne, I felt very alone. I didn't have a lot of friends at the time, and I felt like I really was the only one who was struggling with this. No one in my family ever had acne. Nobody really knew what to do to help me, which is obviously no one's fault, but I do know what it feels like to feel completely alone. If you are struggling with acne or really any insecurity that you're going through or facing right now, I just want you to know that you are not alone. This is a very safe space here. I would be more than happy to talk to any of you guys out there in the comments. Send me a message on Instagram. I just want this video and this community to be something that I wish that I had when I was going through this. Just a disclaimer, this is my personal experience. I know that specifically with this medication and a lot of acne medications, every single person will have a totally different experience, and that's okay. I'm just sharing my personal experience. This in no way means that this will be your exact experience. I know a lot of people who have been on Accutane and have had totally different side effects, experiences. This is just my personal story that I would like to share with you guys. I'm just going to share a brief synopsis of what led me into starting Accutane. Like I said, I struggled with acne for about 8 years. It started when I was about 12 all the way up until I was about 18. I took it on myself to figure this out and spend every dollar, every resource, every spare minute researching as to how I could get better. I spent every dollar that I ever made, or at least it feels like it, on new skincare products, new regimens, new products that promised clear skin. Resulting from that, it led to my skin being completely dealing with just product overload. The barrier of my skin, my moisture barrier, was absolutely shot. My skin was irritated all of the time. It was just way too much. I never really stuck to a simple routine. I was always convinced that the latest and greatest product would help me. I tried just about every single topical treatment, prescription and over the counter that you could think of. Nothing really worked for me. Nothing worked long term. I was on several different antibiotics for my skin. Some of them worked temporarily, but just like any normal antibiotic, you don't want to be on them long term, which every time I got off, my acne would come back and be even worse. I was on hormonal birth control to help my acne. My body did not react well with that specific birth control, so I stopped. When I was 19, I got my first big girl job and I had my very own health insurance. I decided to seek out a dermatologist that I really trusted, and she decided that we would start me on Accutane. I was on Accutane for about 4 months. I was on a pretty low dose. I'm just going to go ahead and share with you my experience and the side effects that I dealt with. A lot of people warned me about depression and mental health declining when you're on Accutane. Again, I know that this is not everybody's experience, but for me personally, I had quite the opposite effect. After a few weeks of my skin getting worse and purging, my skin started to clear up. This resulted in my overall demeanor improving so much. I was happier. I started wearing less makeup for the first time in my teenage and adolescent life. I felt that confidence shining through. Remember waking up and not seeing multiple new cysts on my face and just being so excited about life. That's not to say that I didn't deal with some really terrible side effects, but overall, as far as my mental health, I personally did not struggle with worsening depression or really any mental health issues. It was quite the opposite for me. Main symptoms included, first and foremost, extremely dry, flaky skin. Now, in a minute, I'm going to talk about the long-term side effects and what I still am dealing with from Accutane, but I will first discuss the short-term side effects that only lasted while I was on Accutane. Accutane is a derivative of vitamin A. It's a very, very, very potent and harsh drug. Dermatologists do not give this out to just anybody. It's basically a last resort, and for this reason, is because it has such harsh side effects. My lips would crack all the time. I constantly had to apply Aquaphor, apply lip treatments. The best things that I found to combat this was Aquaphor, because it was so simple. There was no fragrance. It wouldn't irritate my lips at all. I had to bathe myself in freaking lotion every day. I would get eczema on my body pretty regularly while I was on Accutane. This is definitely a side effect and it can be very uncomfortable. Like I said, all of these side effects that I struggled with, it was all so worth it in my mind. A very positive side note that some people might think is really weird, but wow, it was the best thing ever. I hardly ever, and when I mean hardly ever, had to wash my hair. If you don't know, I have extremely dry, naturally curly hair, and so when I heat style it, I try to make that heat style last as long as possible. If you think about it, all of your oil glands, your sebum is drying up. That's basically the whole point of the medication, to dry out those oil glands. The oils on your scalp also are affected, so your scalp does not get oily hardly at all. I would probably wash my hair about once every 2 weeks. And I know what you're thinking, that's probably disgusting. And yeah, it probably was, but I was living my best life. I've always had a very, very, very oily scalp, and this, I loved it. I loved it. As far as long-term side effects from Accutane, the biggest one that I have dealt with and still continue to deal with on a daily basis is extremely dry eyes. I've had eye doctors tell me that my eyes are extremely dry and suggested that I use eye drops pretty regularly. I still have extremely dry, flaky skin. I feel like I have a pretty good routine where I can maintain the health of my skin and I don't notice like dry, flaky skin all that often. As far as the timeline of the 4 months that I was on Accutane, the first month I would say my skin was purging. It was getting a lot worse before it got better. After about, I would say, that month mark, it really started improving. I would spend so much less time applying makeup just because those zits were going away, and more time moisturizing and pampering my skin with very, very simple products. If you guys want some sort of Accutane skincare routine and the products that I use, I'd be more than happy to make that video for you. I just kind of wanted to get this video up as an intro and my experience. Overall, Accutane was hands down one of the best choices I ever made. This is my personal experience. Again, I know a lot of people out there have had very negative experiences. At this point, I was at my wit's end. I had tried everything else on the market, and this was the only thing that worked for me. I'm about 5 years post Accutane, and I have remained clear for the most part. I still get breakouts, but they are not as painful, as cystic, and as long-lasting as they were. Overall, my skin has stayed pretty clear. In closing, I would just like to say the biggest thing that I've learned from all of this is that your insecurities are your insecurities. I promise you that no one notices the things that make you feel so insecure as much as you think they do. I remember thinking that every single person was just disgusted when they looked at me. I remember thinking they thought I was like a dirty person. I didn't have good hygiene because I had this horrific acne. As I've grown up and sort of grown out of that phase in my life, I've come across several people who struggle with acne and have confided in me that this is something that they really struggle with. I know for me personally, I see so much past that now. It doesn't even faze me. If I see someone with breakouts or whatever the insecurity may be, it's really made me realize how beauty really shines from within. There's a certain sparkle in people's eyes that I see, and I just don't even notice the other things. I wish that I would have given myself that same self-love and that same appreciation, that I was worth so much more than my skin or what I thought people saw in me. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions or want to share any experiences down below, I'd love to hear from you guys, and I hope that you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time.